Game is a thrilling young adult novel infused with horror, written by Barry Lyga. It is the second book in the I Hunt Killers series, initially published in 2013. Continuing from the events of the first book, I Hunt Killers, the story follows the series' protagonist as he engages in a dangerous game of cat and mouse with a deadly serial killer. The series has garnered significant popularity among its target teenage audience. Barry Lyga is a best-selling author specializing in young adult fiction. Prior to his career as a full-time writer, he spent a decade working in the comic book industry. His writing spans multiple genres, including horror and suspense. The narrative centers around Jasper Dent, a teenager residing in the small American town of Lobo's Nod. Known as Jazz, he is the son of the notorious serial killer Billy Dent. Due to his family history, Jazz faces distrust from the community. Determined to prove that he is nothing like his father, he assists the local police force in solving violent crimes. In the first book, I Hunt Killers, Jazz successfully apprehends a dangerous criminal, drawing the attention of the NYPD. One day, a detective from New York City arrives in Lobo's Nod, seeking Jazz's help in capturing a sadistic murderer known as the Hat Dog Killer. Recognizing Jazz's unique insight into the mind of a killer, the detective believes he is the only person capable of apprehending the culprit. Meanwhile, Billy Dent escapes from a high-security prison, leaving Jazz with the knowledge that his father will continue to commit heinous acts. However, before pursuing his father, Jazz is determined to capture the Hat Dog Killer. Together with his girlfriend Connie, Jazz embarks on a journey to New York City. Focused on the current case, he tries to suppress thoughts of his father that could distract him from the task at hand. Jazz accompanies the detective to a recent crime scene, analyzing the available evidence. What he uncovers sends shockwaves through him. The Hat Dog Killer engages in brutal murders and grotesque mutilation of his victims' bodies. It is crucial for Jazz and the NYPD to capture the Hat Dog Killer before he claims more lives, although his profile remains elusive. Readers should be prepared for Barry Lyga's detailed descriptions of the evidence and the gruesome murders. Amid the investigation, Jazz reflects on his upbringing and the disturbing influence of his father, Billy, who trained him to follow in his footsteps as a killer. While Jazz recognizes the inherent wrongness of murder, he admits to a morbid fascination with taking lives at times. Despite his dark past, Connie understands Jazz's conflicting emotions and loves him unconditionally. Soon after arriving in New York, Jazz and Connie start receiving eerie messages that invite them to participate in a deadly game with no room for refusal. Those who ignore the messages meet a fatal fate. Jazz uses these messages as a basis to profile the Hat Dog Killer, while Connie delves into research on serial killer behavior. Amid their pursuit of the killer, Jazz shares his apprehension about engaging in a sexual relationship with Connie. He fears that his violent tendencies may be triggered, given his upbringing where Billy taught him to objectify and dominate women. Jazz's concern for Connie's safety prevents him from taking their intimacy to that level. While Connie understands his reasons, the lack of physical intimacy strains their relationship. As the situation worsens, Jazz's reckless best friend, Howie, enters the picture, eager to assist with the investigation but disregarding advice and making hasty decisions. He develops a mistaken belief about the killer's identity, leading him to confront Jazz's grandmother. In a tragic turn of events, Howie accidentally shoots her while attempting to apprehend the wrong person. Fleeing the scene without checking her condition, Howie is left grappling with the guilt of his actions and the impending task of informing Jazz about what transpired. Meanwhile, the focus of the killer's attention shifts to Connie. He leaves subtle clues that lead her to suspect his true identity as Billy, Jazz's father. Connie keeps her suspicions about the killer's identity to herself, not wanting to distress Jazz without concrete evidence. Unbeknownst to Jazz, she falls into the killer's calculated scheme and embarks on a personal mission to apprehend him. However, her efforts result in her disappearance, leaving Jazz unaware that she has walked into Billy's trap. Meanwhile, Jazz successfully tracks down the real Hat Dog Killer, trailing him to a workshop. In a tense confrontation, the murderer proves cunning and manages to shoot Jazz, leaving him severely wounded and unable to escape. Helpless and losing blood, Jazz is locked inside a storage unit, his fate hanging in the balance. Billy, intent on manipulating Connie, captures her and devises a twisted plan. He seeks to push Jazz to the brink by compelling him to kill Connie, a test to prove his allegiance as Billy's son. Billy sets his scheme into motion, while Howie and the police join forces in search of the missing teenagers. The fate of Jazz's grandmother remains uncertain. The gripping narrative continues in the third book of the series, holding the answers to the unresolved questions and the ultimate outcomes of the characters' intertwined destinies. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.